Os ydych chi am siarad yn y sesiwn honno, awnewch chi gofrestru'ch enw wrth y dderbynfa. At 2:15 this afternoon, we will hold our special conference. If you would like to speak as part of this session, please register your name at reception. Gyfeillion, pleser mawr yw croesawu ein siaradwraig nesaf. Yr Aelod Seneddol dros Dwyfor Meirionydd ac Arweinydd grŵp Plaid Cymru yn San Steffan, Liz Saville Roberts.
Pnawn da, gyfeillion. Mae'n arbennig i fod yn ôl yma yn nhre'r sosban. Mo braf i fod efo'n gilydd, i agoffa'n gilydd o pam da ni'n gwneud hyn, hyd yn oed. A da ni'n cyrraedd yma yn Llanelli mewn ysbryd o uchelgais, brwdfrydrydd a gobaith ar gyfer y dyfodol. A fel y dywedodd Mary Black ddoe, doedd hi'n wych yn doedd. Doedd hi'n wych. Mae'n gyfnod byr mae'n gwirionedd wedi mynd ers i'r SNP fod yn dîm o dim ond 6 aelod yn San Steffan, a dim ond 25 sedd allan o 129 yn yr Alban. Chi'n gweld yn dach? Wrth fod mewn pŵer, mae'r SNP wedi ac wrthi yn trawsnewid yr Alban gwell. Da ni hefyd ar lwybr i greu Cymru well trwy herio, cydweithio, gweithio'n galed. Da ni ar lwybr i ddangos i bobl Cymru sut mae polisïau Plaid Cymru yn creu Cymru decach, fwy lywyrchus. Da ni'n wynebu etholiad pwysig mewn cyfnod heriol iawn i gymaint ohono ni, gymaint o'n bobl, a nynna'n hunan. Mae biliau ni trwy'r to, chwyddiant yn llyncu cyfloga a teimlad o ansicrwydd cyson yn treiddio trwy'r awyr. A da ni'n flin, bobl yn flin. Da ni'n flin efo Llywodraeth Doriaidd yn San Steffan sydd yn benset ar wneud bywydau bobl Cymru yn galetach. Blin efo Llywodraeth Lafur Lipa yng Nghaerdydd sy'n mond eisiau tincran o gwmpas yr ymylon. Ond dim pwynt just stiwio, just derbyn y blinder hynny. Rhaid i ni ddefnyddio y rhwystredigaeth hynny a'i throi yn weithred. Rwan di'r amser i guro drysau yn blinder ni, curo drysau a gweithio dros ddyfodol gwell. A gyda hynny, i droi o'r negyddiaeth i'r bositif, mi hoffwn i ddiolch i chi am eich gwaith caled a gwaith ydych chi'n wneud i helpu yn cymunedau ni. Diolch i'n cynghorwyr ac i'n actifyddion ni sy'n camu mewn i redig banciau bwyd yn absynoldeb cefnogaeth ddigonol o San Steffan, a hynny ar amser mae bobl mewn angen. Mae cynghorau ledled Cymru wedi dechrau darparu prydau ysgol am ddim i bawb, oherwydd gwaith diflino Plaid Cymru yn Senedd. Cofiwch da chi, roedd Llafur yn dadlau yn gry yn erbyn yr egwyddor o drin pawb yn gyfartal. Oedden nhw yn erbyn cefnogi pob teulu yng Nghymru, cofiwch hynny. Ond diolch i Blaid Cymru, bydd pob un plentyn cynradd yn cael cinio am ddim cyn bo hir. Dyn ni ar ffôr i gyflawni. Dyn ni ar yn ffôr i gyflawni dros blant Cymru. Cofion ni hynny. A mae'n braf bod yn ôl yn Sir Gar. A beth sy'n taro rwy'n wrth fod yma yw bod Sir Gar fel petai yn feicrocosm o Gymru gyfan. Gyda hanes diwydiannol balch yma'n Llanelli, diwydiant ffermio'r llwyddiannus yn yr ardaloedd gwledig, a diwylliant cyfoethog, toreithog o gyfoethog a draws y sir. Mae yma potensial anferthol, ond hanes o fethiant o dan pleidiau San Steffan gawn ni yma hefyd. Tan ariannu enbyd o ardaloedd ôl ddiwydiannol gan y 2 blaid uniolaethol. Cyfoeth, talent a potensial yn llifo i ni galwyni tu'r dwyrain, a dim ymgais o adeiladu argau. Polisia masnach dynistriol gan y toriad yn San Steffan yn tanseilio'n ffermwyr ni a'n busnesau ni. A pholisia amaeth anheg gan lafur yng Nghaerdydd yn ychwanegu at y rhwystrau. Mi allwn ni, bobl, mi allwn ni wneud gymaint yn well na hyn. Mi allwn ni sicrhau bod y potensial sydd yma yn cael ei droi yn llwyddiant economaidd. A mae llwyddiant economaidd yn llwyddiant yn cymunedau, a mae llwyddiant i'n cymunedau yn llwyddiant i bobl Cymru. Cofiwn ni y cysylltiad y hynny. Mae yn holl bwysig. Dyna'r unig ffordd allan ni osod y sail dros ddyfodol llywyrchus annibynnol i'n glad. And since we last met, friends, the economic crisis has caused so much anxiety for so many people in our communities. But I am proud that Wales continues to stand resolute with the brave people of Ukraine. For over a year now, Putin has unleashed untold pain and suffering on the people of Ukraine. Plaid Cymru send our solidarity, our unwavering support to those people, the people of Ukraine. And we say to Ukrainians who have fled to safety in Wales, we say to Ukrainians who are on the front line, we will support you until the day Ukraine is free from Russia's grip. Wales, of course, stands up for international law and against those who would flout it, regardless of where in the world they would do that. Putin must face the consequences of his actions, and in a world where justice matters, he must be held to account for his crimes. Much has changed in Westminster since we last met, too. The Tories changed Prime Minister. Again. Starmer had a relaunch. Again. Boris Johnson disgraced himself. Again, and again, and again, and again. But the constant, as always, is that Wales is forgotten, ignored, and sidelined. The Tories continue to deny our fair funding for HS2 railway line, depriving us of billions of pounds of consequentials for transport funding. And what do Labour do? They cancel all road infrastructure while presiding over the neglect and decline of alternative, greener modes of transport. Let us not forget that it is Labour in Wales who are slashing budgets of local bus services, those very bus services which are a lifeline for so many older people and for people living and working in rural parts of Wales. Lee Waters, just like the Tories in Westminster, has zero vision for rural Wales. Where's the ambition, Lee? It's easy enough to scrap rural projects for a clap on the back at COP26. But what have you got to offer instead? Incisive investigations by Ben Sumner and Will Hayward of Wales Online show that in the last 4 years, Lee Waters has claimed for nearly 12,000 miles of car journeys, but wait for it, only 3 train journeys. As always with Labour, it's do as I say, not as I do. And the only time I truly believe Lee was when he admitted as a Deputy Economy Minister that, and I quote, he didn't really know what he was doing with the economy. Just admittedly, you don't really know what you're doing with transport either, do you? Both Westminster parties are dead set on turning Wales into an economic backwater, despite, and this is important for us, it's important for us as a party because in politics it's so easy to be negative, but the negative has an effect. Despite Wales having an incredible potential in every corner, pob twll a chornel o'n glad, there is so much potential throughout our fantastic country. And Plaid Cymru is the only party that will demand a fair deal for our country every single day. Westminster's disregard for Wales was summed up this week by none other than the Prime Minister himself. And I quote again, Northern Ireland is in the unbelievably special position, unique position in the entire world, European continent, in having privileged access, wait to it, not only to the UK home market, which is enormous, but also the European single market. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Rishi Sunak was bouncing off the walls with enthusiasm about Northern Ireland's privileged access to the EU and its single market, and as if the penny was finally just maybe starting to drop about what we actually had. A man who campaigned to rip Wales and the rest of Britain out of the world's biggest economic zone, now singing from the rooftops about the economic opportunities of being in it. No, you really can't make this stuff up. Really can't up. Like the man who smashes all your windows and then gives away brand new double glazing to the neighbours, while Mr. Starmer, over the road, hands him the stones and holds the ladder. That's the best that they can do. Wales is fed up with being shortchanged, and we are fed up with being collateral damage. We refuse to be taken for fools any longer. It's common sense for our businesses, for our economy, to rejoin the single market. And we'll soon face a general election. Supposedly, the choice is between Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer. Keir Sunak or Rishi Starmer? Can anyone tell the difference? Indeed, so disillusioned are people of the prospect of grey or greyer that a poll this week showed that 61% of people want a completely new type of political party to take on the Tories and Labour. And in Wales, of course, we already have it. We already have it. Plaid Cymru is home to anyone and everyone who wants to demand better for our communities, for Wales. Electing more Plaid Cymru members to Westminster will make sure that Wales is on the agenda. But we need more voices. I'm so proud that we have Ben and Howell at my side in Westminster to make our voice heard, Wales's voices heard there. But we need more voices to turn that trio into a choir that will be unignorable. Starting, of course, with turning Ynys Môn from blue to green. Ynys Môn will have an MP who stands up for their interests, not blindly follow Tory policies which undermine her constituents' interests. But we all have to make sure that happens. It's not an easy thing to talk about in a theatre here today. We have to put the footwork in. We have to knock the doors. But we can do it, and we know why we need to do it. Scotland and Northern Ireland are on the agenda in Westminster only because their politicians demand it. While Welsh Labour and Tory MPs vote along party lines, Plaid Cymru MPs always vote in Wales's interests. Only Plaid Cymru MPs and Plaid Cymru votes throughout Wales. Those then will force the next Prime Minister to give Wales the deal that we deserve. So get out, please, get out and campaigning. We'll only win through work. Only work brings results. And it is therefore through hard work that Plaid Cymru has successfully committed the Labour government to radical policies here in Wales, including the devolution of key policy areas. Thanks to Plaid Cymru, the Labour government support the full devolution of policing and justice so we can create a fairer system that works in lockstep with our public services such as health and education. We've succeeded in convincing them of the need to make sure it's the people of Wales, not the UK Treasury or the royal family, who should reap the benefits of the Crown estate. And that Welsh government is also now on board with the need to devolve the administration of welfare to the Seneddol and broadcasting. The Welsh Government now support running Welsh broadcasting from within our own country, agreeing with Plaid Cymru, finally, that we shouldn't be content with having our views from the perspective of our neighbour. But what does Keir Starmer and his team of Welsh Labour MPs make of this? The Welsh Labour deputy leader said she, and I quote again, wouldn't be enthusiastic about the devolution of policing powers to Wales, contradicting the First Minister. The Shadow Secretary of State for Wales undermined a Welsh Government Plaid Cymru LGBT report the week it was launched, flat out rejecting her own Labour government's request for powers over gender recognition. And just this week, when asked by Howell Williams whether the Labour Shadow Work and Pension Secretary supported the devolution of the administration of welfare, he said he didn't want to discuss disrupting the way in which we provide social security across the country. Whose country? You'd be forgiven for wondering, given the different tone between Labour and Westminster and the Seneddol, whether they are even in the same party. But when push comes to shove, they will always agree to put Labour before the interest of Wales. And I am fed up with the future of Wales being decided by internal debates in the Labour Party. Wales has voted Labour for over 100 years. It's time to try something different. It's time for Plaid Cymru. Gyfeillion, dwi mor falch o arwain ein grŵp bach ni yn San Steffan. Mor falch o gael bod yn llais dros yn Blaid yn Llundain. Mor falch o'r gwahaniaeth mae'r Blaid yn ei wneud i fywydau bobl ar draws Cymru. Eich brwdfrydydd chi sy'n gwneud Cymru yn well wlad. Dros y flwyddyn nesaf, gadewch i ni sicrhau bod yna fwy o leisiau yn gweiddi dros Gymru o'r meincia gwyrdd nag eriod o'r blaen. Os da ni eisiau newid, rhaid i ni weithio'n galetach fydd bod yn fwy penderfynol, yn fwy unedig, yn fwy disglybgedig nag eriod o'r blaen. A wy'n nabod chi. Wy'n gwybod gallwn ni wneud hi. Dwi'n gwybod bod ni'n gallu llwyddo. Felly, os oes yna rhywbeth yn codi o'r gynadledd yma, gadewch i ni fynd allan. Let's start knocking doors. Together, united, we will win for Wales. Diolch yn fawr iawn, gynadledd.
Gyfeillion, cyn i ni droi at y